No. There's like a couch or something.
Sir.
This is when it's closed.
Let's figure out where this. Okay, so this month I watched Daughters of the Dust and then I watched Beloved. So right off the bat, I'm gonna say that I definitely enjoyed Daughters of the Dust more just because Beloved was very traumatic. So if you're not in the mood to experience a ton of whiplashing black trauma, then don't watch Beloved. It's a very good story. It's based off of Toni Morrison's book, Beloved, which I haven't read yet. I plan to read Beloved. I think I'm definitely going to read it now that I've seen the movie, because I know that there are probably a lot of things that I need clarification on that I can find in the book, like in the actual written original words, original story, that maybe was kind of glazed over in the movie. But that being said, how sometimes things are glazed over in movies, maybe it's for the best because it was a lot. It was a really, really hard watch. So we have Kimberly Elise, we have Oprah Winfrey as the mother, as Jafa. She has 2 boys, and originally she has 2 girls too. Kimberly Elise is one of the girls, and the other little girl, only name you hear her called is Already Crawling Baby. And then we don't find more about the other little girl until much later in the story. So we know the little girl passed, and we know that she is haunting the house. Well, I'm not going to say haunting because the man walked in, Oprah Winfrey's friend, from a plantation that they're both growing. It's called Sweet Home. Nothing sweet about it. Very sad. I almost turned the movie off because of the clips of Oprah Winfrey and the men and the milk. Like, it was just, like, if you can't. And here's the thing about me. I don't like watching stuff with a lot of black trauma, but I'm trying to watch more movies. I just won't be watching something this traumatic for a while, and I'm not going to watch this movie again. There were a few movies that I will never watch again, but they were really good movies. There were good movies. I just can't watch it again because it was too much. It was really traumatic. It was really sad. I won't be watching it again. One of those movies is Precious. I saw Precious once. I won't be watching Precious again. The other one of those movies on my list of movies I won't be watching again is Jason's Lyric. I'm not gonna watch Jason's Lyric again. I'm not gonna do that to myself. I can't. I won't. You shouldn't. If you can, that's you. It's not me. I won't watch it. I won't watch Jason's Lyric. I won't watch Precious. I heard Precious was a book. I sure won't be reading it. I've seen enough. I've heard enough. It's just too much. It's too much. And Beloved. So I'm sure there's more movies that I won't watch again that were good movies. These are all good movies. Let's be very, very, very clear. Oprah Winfrey, Kimberly Elise, you did wonderfully. Toni Morrison, I'm sure this is a great book. I should probably read it. I will make my way around to reading it. I just know it's gonna depress me because this movie sure depressed me. It was really, really, really hard to watch. Because first, right off the bat, the dog is swinging around and you go inside the house and it's glowing. It's glowing red everywhere. And then it just gets worse and worse and worse. And then you find out who Beloved is and why her name is Beloved. Beloved. Like, it was just really, really sad. And then Miss Girl, Miss Beloved, is gonna, what got me was the end. See, I'm having a hard time getting it out. I'm having a hard time expressing myself. What got me was the end. When Beloved and Setha, let me stop calling her Oprah Winfrey. When Beloved and Setha, also known as Oprah Winfrey, walked out on the porch, and Beloved is dragging Baby Suggs' blanket that she tore, mind you, and made Kimberly Elise cry. I didn't forget what Kimberly Elise's name is in the movie. I don't think I've seen a movie where Kimberly Elise is that young. She was very young in this movie. I have to look up how young she was. But she made Kimberly Elise cry by ripping Baby Suggs' blanket, which is her grandmother's blanket that she made, her quilt. She said, because you know what? Beloved was a big baby, in the body of how old she was supposed to be at the time. But she didn't get to grow up to be that age because of what Oprah Winfrey did. Which is very similar to how somebody's moving something outside. It distracted me for a second. But very similar how in Daughters of the Dust, they talk about how a bunch of enslaved Africans just walked into the sea. Or how you hear about people who are put into slavery jumping overboard, jumping into the sea. So that's similar to what Setha did and why Setha did it. But it was sad. It was sad to watch it. I know my history. I know my culture. I know what my ancestors had to go through. I know what still exists in the world today as I'm speaking to you right now. And this is very informative. It was a lot to reflect on. It was a lot to experience and maybe re-experience in the way that I have a direct connection to my ancestors who experienced this. Like they are a part of me. So watching that much Black trauma is a lot. But I can assure you I was more than overjoyed when Miss Beloved poofed into some butterflies at the end. Because Miss Oprah Winfrey was looking real drained. Been real sickly ever since Miss Beloved showed herself, and then Beloved was pregnant and the baby poof with, you know. I think that part of the movie. And what is Red Heart? I feel like something, I can't remember his name right now. I know he's a well-known actor as well, and I feel so bad because I know him. I know his face. I can't remember his name. Maybe I should look it up real fast. What's the man's name? I actually really need to know. Because Beloved came up in his cabin. He's like, girl, get away from me. Back up. And Beloved, I can't. It's not funny. Nothing is funny. I'm laughing because I'm traumatized. And this is just how I'm coping. This is me coping with that. What I watched Beloved do. And Beloved, the way that she manipulated everything and drained everybody's energy and kind of like I don't know, it's like she hypnotized him. Let me see. Beloved cast. She hypnotized him. What's his name? Danny Glover. I feel so bad. Yeah, that was Danny Glover. That was Toni Newton. That's crazy. I didn't even realize that was her. They were so young in this movie. Hold on. How old was Kimberly Elise in this movie? I have to know. How old was Kimberly Elise in Beloved? How old was she? She looks so young. She looks baby. Really? She was 30? Oh my god, no, she looked 18. You know what they say though. So that makes sense, but no, oh my god, she looked like a baby in that movie. Wow. How old was Toni Newton? Toni Newton. Age, Beloved. I should type with 2 hands. She was 25. They look so young in these movies. They look so young. Both of them. Wow. Yeah. That was a lot. As I said before, I won't be watching that movie again. Wonderful story. Wonderful, wonderful story. Just like Precious was a wonderful story. Just like Jason's lyric is a wonderful story. It's just too much trauma. It gets to a point when you're also tuned in to the news all over the world and what's going on. And you see what's happening in the communities with your people, and just you heard the stories, you grew up with the stuff. It's just, I will need to watch lighter stuff probably for a while. I don't think I can watch anything too happy for a bit. But yeah, so I'm gonna move on to Daughters of the Dust. Okay, so Daughters of the Dust. Daughters of the Dust, as I said before, I enjoyed it way more than Beloved. Daughters of the Dust was very spiritual. It was very, it was full of Gullah Geechee culture. We have Yellow Mary and Viola, who were 2 cousins who had left the island, Gullah Geechee, and went to the mainland. And when they went to the mainland, they gained new beliefs and new ways, and they started to denounce their culture and where they came from, and their ancestors, who they call the saltwater Africans. And then in contrast, we have their grandmother, their Nana, who is, of course, really deeply rooted into her customs, into her culture, into the older ways, into the ways of the saltwater Africans. And then we have Eula, who is equally as spiritual and connected to her roots, to her ancestors, to their culture, and it's a beautiful thing. And throughout the movie, we have Eula's unborn child narrating, and it's lovely. And I think the message in that was just like, the baby was supposed to be a message of remaining connected in a way. And there's just so much symbolism, and there were so many things I related to as well. Like, I loved the scenes where they showed their hands dyed with indigo. I loved the scenes that were slower, where we got to see the beach and them wearing white along the shore, and them getting the itis after having a feast of gumbo and shrimp and white rice and oysters. It was really beautiful. And they're just like laid out in the sand, taking a nap, or when they would help like pick greens or, you know, snap peas, things like that. It's just very homey. It was beautiful. And I think the other one was Haggard, and she was very like against the ways of the saltwater Africans as well. But Yola and the grandmother really rerouted their family members. They really brought them back. I think that's why it was so important. And you know, and the baby is going to be raised on their island. So it's just like she's gonna continue to carry on the teachings and the culture and the customs and everything. That was a big truck that just passed by. And yeah, and at first, like I said before, I am getting off track, but Viola and Yellow Mary, they were denouncing their culture because they had been on the mainland. Viola had found Christianity. Haggard is really pushing Christianity onto the island as well. And she is denouncing, they're denouncing the old teachings and their old ways and their customs and their culture for Christianity, because they think that you can't make it in the new world if you continue to carry the past with you. But not, their grandmother throughout the movie is trying to reassure them, remind them that like your past is always going to be a part of you, and you have to carry some of that with you because that's like love. Those are hopes, those are dreams. Like your ancestors are a part of you. And Eula definitely carries that on for the grandmother, and she'll instill those teachings into her baby who's on the way. And I just loved how the baby was just running around and hanging out with everybody, but like as a spirit, you know, like she's not fully here yet, but she's coming, she's on the way, and she's getting to know her family, and she's running around and standing behind everyone. And the grandmother consents her, you know, consents that she is going to kind of bring the family back, you know, help to bring them back to their roots, to, you know, remembering and recognizing their ancestry and why certain cultural practices are so important to them. And it was wonderful. It was wonderful. So yeah, I really like Daughters of the Dust. And I especially love that Yellow Mary ended up wanting to stay. You know, because at first she came to the island, she didn't want to stay. She was denouncing everything that she had come from on the island and everything like that. And by the end of the movie, she was like, I want to stay here. I want to stay with my grandmother. I'm going to stay with Eula. Like, she's reconnected. So it's like, even though most of the family left the island, a lot of the family stayed. And they're still going to continue to create and build and grow even further on the island and in the ways of the saltwater Africans and the old teachings. And I think for the other family members that left, before they left, the grandmother kind of instilled in them, like, your ancestors are a part of you. And this is how I will protect you, so you can remember me, so you can have me with you. And if you have me with you, you have them with you. And it's just, it's really powerful. It's a really beautiful and powerful film. Yeah. But yeah, I won't be watching Beloved again.